So tell me what happened on January 6, 2021.
That's the day that the Capitol got raided.
White nationalists slash terrorists invaded the Capitol and they were fighting for God knows what and just showing off the fact that white people can get away with anything in this fucking country and nothing really ever fucking happens to them. Because if it was actually black people or people of color doing that shit, then literally this shit would have been stopped in like 30 seconds. So yeah, I think it was just a display of white power, white nationalism. I remember. It was the fucking riot at the Capitol. Duh.
People invaded the Capitol building.
Was an attempted coup for sure, an insurrection. It was gross, led by the president.
Hi, you guys. Welcome to a new episode of Unreserved con Shay. If you are new, bienvenidos. My name is Shayla. And like I said, this is Unreserved con Shay. From the intro, you can probably already tell what we're going to be talking about today. Don't click off. I know it is politics and it's not the most interesting topic out there, but I feel like it needs to be discussed, right? Especially, I don't know where you guys are from, where I'm from. People don't really talk about politics as much as they should. And I don't blame them because I, for one, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't think I started voting until I was in college. And politics was just never something that I was worried about because in my mind, or not in my mind, the truth of the matter is I had bigger things to stress about, it like my bank account and, filling out FAFSA and just life things. But now that I'm older and I see the craziness that goes into politics, I'm like, yo, we really need to be paying attention, at least a little bit, about what is going on. As you heard in my intro, a lot of people think that on this day, the main thing is that there was a Capitol riot, which, do not get me wrong, yes, there was definitely a Capitol riot led by far-right extremist groups. One of them being the Proud Boys. But the other major point is that the reason why these people stormed the Capitol was because Trump made them believe that there was some voter fraud and that Donald Trump was the true winner of that election and that Biden didn't win. So on January 6, 2021, they were supposed to certify the election, right? To kind of prove that, yep, Biden won, he's our president. But these people stormed the Capitol in hopes of trying to stop the certification of the election. Essentially, Donald Trump wanted to stay in power and he incited all these people to go to the Capitol. It's really some movie type stuff, right? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I love watching Money Heist. The series is over now, but like, when you watch shows and you think like, oh my God, this is crazy, like Ozarks and Money Laundry, like, these things happen. But when you see it in person, it's like, yo, this is happening in 2022. These white extremist groups were storming the Capitol. Mind you, these are the same far-right people that claim that they're so, like the Blue Lives Matter people, that they care so much about law enforcement, and they care more about law enforcement than the struggles of minorities. Yet, because of their riot, 140 members of law enforcement were hurt. Multiple people died. Multiple people were left with post-traumatic stress because these people, that's the thing. It's crazy to me because here's the thing. I don't know. I don't care what you feel about Donald Trump, but I'm here to tell you that man is a racist. If you feel otherwise, then that's on you. That's your opinion. But Donald Trump is racist. And when he got in power, it kind of emboldened these far-right extremist groups to feel like, oh, I don't need to hide.
Pick a side. These are our streets. takes, I'll lay my life down if it takes.
Absolutely. That's why we showed up today.
The day before the insurrection, a close advisor to Donald Trump said this in his podcast.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow. Just understand this. All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
So this didn't come as a surprise, right? This was something that was planned. And Donald Trump had already set his mind that regardless of what the 2020 election results were, he was gonna deny it, right? Like if it wasn't him winning, he was not for it.
The only way we're going to lose this election is if the election is rigged. Remember that.
Even after his attorney general told him his claims of election fraud were false, President Trump continued to promote these claims.
I told him that the stuff that his people were shoveling out to the public was bullshit. I mean, that the claims of fraud were bullshit.
So then January 6th comes, right? The day of the Capitol riot, and Donald Trump has this speech.
I hope Mike is going to do the right thing. I hope so. I hope so. Because if Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election. All Vice President Pence has to do is send it back to the states to recertify. And we become president, and you are the happiest people. Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us. And if he doesn't, that will be a sad day for our country. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
And in this speech, he's number one lying, right? Like continuing his lie of voter fraud. And that if Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, doesn't do the right thing, there's going to be consequences. He literally wanted the vice president to break the rules in order to keep him in power. Like, yo, are you dumb? You lost. Like, it's crazy.
Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones which they were asked to previously certify. U.S. demands the truth. Bring out Pence. 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 Bring out Pence.
These people are storming the Capitol, right? And they have weapons, aggressive. And the gag is Donald Trump didn't do anything to stop these people. He literally, first of all, in reality, he wanted to pull back up to be with the people, but his Secret Service and all of his security was like, no, we cannot go back to that location. We need you to go home. So they take him home, and he's literally just watching Fox News, is not trying to do anything. Mind you, these people have stormed the Capitol, aggressive, okay? Because these are the same people that were going all bonkers over Black Lives Matter marches when people were literally marching and protesting for racist people, right? Like people that had been killed literally because of this color of their skin, not anything else. Yet you're literally storming the Capitol because you are trying to stop the certification of a fair election? Like, make it make sense. So these people tried to stop the certification of President Biden's election. They wanted to keep Trump in power, and Trump just kept feeding these people lies. Like, there was voter fraud, and all the votes haven't been counted. And he was calling like election officials and like leaders from certain states saying, oh, I need you to find votes. Find votes, sweetie. The people already said that the people already voted and the majority voted for Biden. So we cannot just find votes. That is literally the only reason why Trump isn't still in power, because for the good grace of the Lord Jesus, some people on his camp came to their senses and was like, that's illegal. I can't just find votes that do not exist. Mind you, this is the same person claiming that there was voter fraud. He was trying to commit fraud to get himself to stay in power. Like, it is, you just cannot make this up. This is what I learned. I didn't know this, but in the White House, there is like a press briefing room and the cameras are on, 24/7. So whenever the president wants to make an address, he can just walk in and speak to the people. No, mi amor. Donald Trump was seeing what was happening because he was watching Fox News and didn't think, oh, maybe I should tell these people to stop. Even Fox News hosts are texting people around Trump's circle to letting him know, like, yo, you need to say something because people, like, this is getting out of hand, kind of. And nada de nada. Nada de nada, nada de nada. So this was earlier in the day. So then around like 4 p.m., hours after, he is essentially forced to go outside of, some area around the White House to deliver a message. And listen to the message that he was kind of forced to record at 4:03 after you just watched what was going down. And this is what he had to say to the people.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
I told him that the stuff that his people were shoveling out to the public was bullshit. I mean, that the claims of fraud were bullshit.
So that was the message that he sent. We love you. You're very special. He's saying this to these white supremacists who are trying to stop Biden from becoming president. Like, the former president, or at that time, he was the president, was telling these racist people that they are very special and that he loves them. Let me tell you something. Anyone that says that Trump isn't a racist, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. He is very much a racist, and I said what I said, and that's that on that. So anyways, do you guys think that this message was not gonna do nothing? Okay, so the insurrection is still happening, and that was the last message he sent. So it's the next day, January 7th, and the people around him again are pressuring him like, yo, you need to make another message because this is not a good look, right? So essentially, he made this speech not because he wanted to, or not that he made. His team wrote up a little script for him, which he did not want to follow, and I'm gonna show you this clip. This is him rehearsing this forced script, or forced, message he had to send to his people a day after the Capitol riot.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday, and to those who broke the law, you will pay. You do not represent our movement, you do not represent our country, and if you broke the law, you can't say that. I already said you will pay. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defied the seat of justice. It's defiled, right? See, I can't see it very well. Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
But Congress is certified. Now Congress is
Yeah, but
Now Congress
I didn't say over, so let me see. Go to the paragraph before. Okay? I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me.
Just take it out. The heinous
Say
attack.
heinous attack on our
Good. Take the word yesterday, because it doesn't work with the heinous attack on our country. Say on our country. Want to say that?
No, keep it.
My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote.
So it's crazy to think that this man was the leader of the United States of America. And yes, this was something that happened a year plus ago, but I think it's important because our democracy or our government, sometimes we can feel like, what's the point of voting and why should I care about this? Because at the end of the day, like, I'm still suffering and XYZ. But listen, yes, it is 2022, but there are a lot of racist and hateful people out there. And the reality is that a majority of minorities only really vote during presidential elections. And I'm not saying those elections don't matter. They sure do. But so do the local elections, because the only reason Donald Trump was not able to stay in power is because these local election officials and local politicians were like, we're going to do our job. Even the people that are on his side were like, this man is bonkers. He was telling election officials to just find votes, right? He was like, oh, I just need X amount of votes. Just find them. What do you mean just find them? Like, the people spoke, the people voted, and they voted you out. Like, you cannot just find votes. So the only reason Donald Trump wasn't successful in his little dictator type of plan was because there were local officials that stopped him there was local officials that were in position of power that understood that they shouldn't do that. Like, you can't just do that, you can't just find votes. Because, and the funny thing is that he's telling these local election officials to find votes. Meanwhile, he's the one claiming voter fraud. You get what I'm saying? You're claiming that the reason why you lost was because of voter fraud when your own people are telling you there was no proof of voter fraud. Meanwhile, you're telling these local officials to break the law and commit voter fraud. Dime, mi amor. Make it make sense. You think these crazy stuff only happen in shows, but no, our politics are insane. We have people that are running for office that are literal racists and are motivated by just making sure that minorities don't win. Passing legislation that hurts minorities. Especially now, right, with Roe v. Wade reversed, which was essentially a decision that kind of now leaves abortion and laws that have to do with abortions to each individual state, right? So there are states right now that have banned abortions, right? Depending on where you live and depending on the local officials, right, that the people voted in. And these are the same people, right? A lot of these states that have banned abortions are the same ones that are also restrictive with LGBTQ issues, right? They're like, no, you have to have your child, but God forbid the child is gay, or God forbid the child is transgender. They make their life a living hell when they actually come out of the womb. If you kept that same energy for kids that are actually here, maybe maybe I could understand you. But you're not even like, you don't really care about people. You don't. You don't. There are people right now that are being elected into office that are just, yo, let me tell you what Matt Gaetz had to say. I'm going to put this video, I'm going to play this video for you because it's really, you can't make this stuff up. Like, these are people that are in office and are saying these types of things. And I'm not saying, girl, you gotta be one side or the other, but just hold on. Matt Gaetz. I'm trying to find. Okay. So Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is a Republican from Florida. And listen to what he said at a college rally or a college convention for Republicans.
Have you watched these pro-abortion, pro-murder rallies? The people are just disgusting. Like, why is it that the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb. These people are odious on the inside and out. They're like 5'2", 350 pounds, and they're like, give me my abortions or I'll get up and march and protest. And I'm thinking, march? You look like you got ankles weaker than the legal reasoning behind Roe versus Wade. A few of them need to get up and march. They need to get up and march for like an hour a day, swing those arms, get the blood pumping, maybe mix in a salad.
Do you hear? This is an elected official saying these types of things. First of all, look at yourself, Matt Gaetz. And then it's like, yo, how can a leader say these types of things? First of all, you're ugly. Second of all, mind your business. Third of all, these are the same people that claim to be so, all about God and about religion and about pro-life and about all of this. Like, these are the same people that be talking ish about, like Black Lives Matter marches. Yo, do you hear yourself? You see how ignorant you sound? Like, it pisses me off. And I feel like this is why, it's important for us, for people of color to kind of, I'm not saying keep up with every little detail that happens in politics because, girl, it's hard. But just be aware, right? Like, make sure you vote in local elections because those elections also matter, right? Like, presidential elections matter, but so do local elections because these are the things that affect us. These people are racist and they just don't want minorities to succeed. They don't. They really, really don't. And white people will vote on all types of elections because they want to secure, what they got. They want to make sure that the people that are in power are keeping them in power. It's crazy. And yeah, that's what happened on January 6, 2021. Former President Donald Trump tried to stop the certification of a fair election, which the election said that President Biden won. And whether you like it or not, he is our president. And all of these white supremacists, girl, they is still there, right? Like, just because the date happened doesn't mean, like, all of these people, they flew back to wherever they're from, right? Some of them were criminally charged, and the Department of Justice is investigating to see if criminal charges can be made towards the former president of the United States because he literally incited a mob to stop the certification of a fair election. Like, it's really, I don't know if you guys get it, but that's some crazy wild stuff. Like, it's like some dictator stuff that you see in our country. Like, you would never think that would happen in the United States of America. You would never think that, but it did in fact happen. And a lot of those people were criminally charged. Because you guys saw the clip. You are not going to tell me that that man had no clue what was about to happen. He incited it. He wanted to be a part of it, but his people told him, no, you need to come back here for your own safety. And then his little remarks that he made to tell people to go home, he's telling them he love them. You love the people that pulled up with guns and injured 140 law enforcement officials? Oh, okay. But they worried about when people of color are marching because of injustices. Like, yo, are you dumb or are you dumb? Like, it all just boils down to racism and these white people being afraid of minorities succeeding, minorities getting into positions of power or electing someone that is going to do something for them to help elevate them. Like, I don't know what it is and why some white people think that if minorities succeed, that means that they can't too. We're all equal, right? According to you, we all equal. So how about we just level out the playing field? And that's it. We're all going to be great. No, they're just afraid of minorities succeeding. So anyways, you guys, I hope you guys learned something new in this video. If you did, comment down below maybe. I know this wasn't the funnest episode, but I feel like it is something important because I really care about the future of my people. And I want us to make sure that we get the best and I just want us to succeed for real. And I think whether you like politics or not, at the end of the day, it's important. These are the people that make decisions that directly impact us. Things as resources for education, climate change issues, abortion rights. This is another thing I didn't even mention. Hold on. Because I tweeted this. Because these politicians be so hypocritical, right? Because, yes, some states are banning, a majority Republican states are banning abortions. But let me tell you something. If, God forbid, something happens to one of their family members, people that have money are going to get abortions, whether it's legal or not. So here's another GOP lawmaker. And another hypocrisy. So a Republican lawmaker attended his gay son's wedding just 3 days after joining the majority of his GOP colleagues in voting against a bill that would codify federal protections for same-sex marriage. Codify essentially means, I don't know. I can't even be like essentially means. Codify means like to make it a law, right? Like to make it a law. So he voted against it. But then 3 days later attended his gay son's wedding. You get what I'm saying? So the same people that are voting against abortion rights, if their kids or someone close to them wants to get an abortion, they will make sure that they get an abortion. But when you are a person of color, when you're a minority, you have less resources, at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to be stuck, right? Like it's crazy to me. It makes me mad because these are the same people that claim to be so pro-life, but God forbid your child, not God forbid, let me rephrase this. These are the same people that claim to be pro-life, but if the child is gay or transgender, they're like, oh, well, no, we can't talk about that in school. We can't do this. But I thought you was pro-life. So if you're pro-life, you should be trying to make these people's life good, right? Like, why you care so much about a baby that's not even a baby, an embryo, more than you care about the kids that are here right now in real life? Like, it's crazy. It gets me mad. And like I said, just make sure you're just a little aware of what's happening and don't only focus on presidential elections. Yes, they are important, but I'm telling you, there are people out there that are in positions of power that are racist and are trying to, not let people of color succeed. So I get it. It's not easy, but one thing about it is now that I am aware of politics, I will be vocal and I will make sure my people are also informed with what's going on. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and see you in the next one. Bye.